Hello, it's Cindy Tonkin, presenting with presence. Let's get into it. So there I am talking away. You're making your assessment in the next 2 seconds. Remember, 2 seconds of video is all it takes for you to know how effective, in your opinion, a teacher is. So in the last video, I promised you the number one thing that you needed to know before you got on stage, and that's what we're about to work with. The number one thing before you get on stage. Now, if you want to, there is a workbook. If you want it, there's a workbook. You can download it, tinyurl.com/presence0503. It's a PDF file, and it will allow you to fill in the fields. So please feel free to go download it, or pencil and paper. I'm going to ask you the things so you'll know what to say. So the number one thing before you get on stage, it's just this: lower your cortisol. Now, some of you are saying, yeah, that sounds like, whoa, what? Others of you are saying, yep, this is cortisol. I know what that is. That's a stress chemical. The less stress you have in your body, less chemical of stress you have in your body when you present, the more presence you have. But here's the other piece you have to do. Increase your testosterone. Even women have testosterone, and the more testosterone you have, the more confidence you feel, and the more confidence you appear to people. Now, dropping your cortisol and increasing your testosterone sounds like, do I have a switch for that? Well, yeah, you do. Here's the woman who has the switch for you. Amy Cuddy's speechandted.com. I'll give you the link in the emails that came with this. There will be a link that comes straight after saying, here's Amy Cuddy's link. Amy Cuddy's research at Harvard into power poses shows that standing in the Wonder Woman pose with your hands on your hips, your elbows apart from your sides, and your legs as far apart as you possibly can increases your cortisol and testosterone. There is Linda Carter doing the cortisol and testosterone pose, and here's the original Wonder Woman comic in testosterone, cortisol, and down the cortisol, up the testosterone by doing the Wonder Woman pose. Now, it's essentially about taking up more space, not less space. Here is another pose that you can, when you put your body into this pose, your cortisol drops and your testosterone increases. You come across as more confident, you have more presence, people pay more attention to what you do. Remember, you've got 2 seconds, so you better walk into the room like this. Here's another way that happens. Anything that takes up a lot of space, like these poses, essentially what you're doing is coming across as more confident. So if you do yoga, some of these poses are part of yoga. Why do you feel good after you've been to yoga? Because your cortisol's gone down and your testosterone's gone up. Now, don't do it on stage. Well, I mean, you can, but at some meetings it would seem a little bit weird if you suddenly just put your feet on the desk and your hand behind your head. But if you did, you get more testosterone and you drop your cortisol. I would suggest that you do this prior to a meeting. 2 minutes or less is enough. Amy Cuddy will tell you the science behind that, but the important thing you want to know from a practical, pragmatic point of view is find a place by yourself. Go to the bathroom stall and take up as much space as you can. Go to, a friend of mine does it in the copy room before she starts training every morning. That's what you do. So here's your turn. If you've got the workbook, you can answer the question in the workbook. Write down notes about the cortisol, testosterone thing. Draw yourself a picture of Wonder Woman. But don't believe me. Test it yourself. Try it. You can go to a dinner party and actually test this. See what happens. You can ask people to tell you what the difference is between the time you leave the dinner party and when you come back. Any test is a good test. Do it in a less threatening environment and see what happens. I'd like to hear your answers. In the next video, we'll talk about the 3 things that will make the biggest difference between normal presenters and professional presenters. See you then.